All right, and we're on the air. So, well, I guess we'll play through the intro and see how this runs. I imagine it's going to take some tweaking. Anyway, welcome to TekBrews. I'm Ben White. This is Eric Fee. TekBrews, your weekly source for technology news and beer reviews. Thanks for joining us this week.
And what
So,
did I just say about my last name? God. Anyways, continue.
like I told you, man, it's going to be the intro. What do you want to do?
Take
So,
it out. That's all I want.
hey, you got a last name. You were born with it. If you want to take it out, go talk to a judge. So, anyway, you keep an eye on any headlines this week?
The three you linked me.
Gotta have you take this a little more seriously, Meg. The
That's a
goal.
good question, actually.
I mean, I understand we're both nervous and screwing around, but I want you to pretend it's legit.
Well, I added some cool stuff. Okay, go and then I'll do
All
my.
your all the stuff you added is on the topic sheet, which is the first tab, because there weren't a whole lot of links associated with it, so I didn't have a whole lot of understanding of what you meant with any of it.
Okay. Well,
I mean, we can, I mean,
a
BS and
little bit of that
whatever.
stuff's pretty old now, actually, which is kind of sucky, but
Yeah, no, everything got fucked for a little while, but we're back on track finally.
So the Google Glass going public. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, first off, it's not truly public, right? Because it was only a limited release, and then they sold out. It's not like anybody can go down to Best Buy and pick up a pair
Well, technically.
officially. Because if you resell your Google Glass, they turn it off.
Yeah, but I mean, it's really just a precursor to them going live.
I'd hope so. I mean, but at the same time, I hope it comes down with a lower price tag. Because if they're going to go live asking, what is it, $1,200, $1,500, something ridiculous, who's going to buy it?
That's true.
I mean, would you pick up a pair at that price tag?
I probably wouldn't pick up a pair for $12, but that's just because I don't wear glasses. So
Well, the whole point of Google Glass is not wearing glasses. Wearing them with glasses is a whole extra trouble.
yeah, I like the idea of Google Glass. I just don't like the actual having to wear the glasses and have having to do the whole Google Glass thing. It's like it's neat, futuristic science technology mumbo jumbo, but at the same time, I kind of like just not. I'm weird. I don't know. Sorry.
So it just doesn't offer any functionality you're interested in, or
I'm really looking forward to a. Well, I was going to say fully featured, but I'm really looking forward to a more integrated type of solution. Google Glass offers you a couple of really cool features. It offers you a little teeny bit of overlay, but for me, I think Google Glass would be most valuable when driving or when on the motorcycle.
I can
And
see that.
Google Glass right now is okay for driving, but it's not really very good for the motorcycle in general.
Well,
Um,
imagine it'd be hard to fit with a proper like helmet and visor. You'd have to be wearing a skull cap or something, right?
no, you can totally fit it under a helmet, just like a regular pair of glasses. It kind of just slides in. And I've seen some videos about it, and the Google Glass is a little dark and distracting, and those are dark as in difficult to see, and distracting as in stopping, making it more difficult for you to not hit things, which is always bad. So, yeah, so I'm really looking forward to something more motorcycle friendly.
Okay, I can see that. I mean, personally, for me, I agree with you. Driving, I think, is the number one thing because having a heads-up display with navigation right there in my vision, especially with the recent Google Maps update where I can see the lane I'm supposed to be in, that would be great. I can key a page to the road. I don't have to look down at my device to see what lane I'm supposed to be in. It's right there in front of me, heads up, straight ahead. I think it would work perfectly for that. But some of the other functionality, hit or miss. I mean, Google Now is great if you use it, but do I really need my sports scores right there all the time?
Yeah, the I can definitely see a really nice benefit if we had something a little bit more motorcycle friendly. I'm jumping back to that real quick, just to kind of go over. I
Hmm.
don't have a Garmin on my motorcycle. They make a Garmin, and I think other people also make motorcycle specific ones where it's like waterproof and you can use it with your gloves on and that kind of stuff. I don't have one of those. They're great. I just don't have one. And when I do use navigation, which is sometimes, I do it audio only, and that can be a pain in the ass. So, uh, yeah.
No, I feel you because I mean, even in a car where I'm not, where it's not nearly as time sensitive as riding a motorcycle down the street, uh, audio only navigation is a bit rough because even though you're not supposed to touch your cell phone while you're driving, you're not supposed to do all that crap. Inevitably, you have to end up picking that sucker up. You're looking at what lane you're supposed to be in. Oh, it's how many miles away? What exit is it at? You know, especially when traffic's picking up, you're worried you're going to miss your exit. It, audio only just doesn't always cut it.
Yeah, and you only have so many, auditory cues. 2 miles, a quarter mile, and you're like, oh, dang.
Right? A quarter mile. I'm on a four-lane highway in California. I guess that I'm not going to make that exit.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it has some things personally for me that has left to fill. Um, but I'm looking forward to seeing it pop up more often and be more user friendly. I also know that there's a kind of a somewhat of a backlash against it. People are getting kind of technophobic or scared of being recorded, and that's unfortunate. Mostly because a lot of times we get recorded doing things that don't matter, and our lives, being public as they are kind of out in the open anyways. And especially stores that are saying no Google Glass, it's like, um, no, you can record me with your damn CCTV, but I can't walk in with Google Glass, even though I'm just trying to buy a damn pot roast.
Right? And that seems a little overkill.
It is, and it's becoming more and more popular at places that tend to have more paranoid uh, patrons, like gun shops and so on and so forth. And that's again, like, really get with the program, guys.
Well, not yeah, no, and I can understand some of the privacy concerns people are talking about, some of the things like that. But I think it's that natural overreaction people have, where something's new, they're worried it's going to be used the wrong way, and so everyone's immediate reaction is to overreact.
Yeah, and cell phones, when smartphones started to become popular, people had similar feelings. Um,
Especially when they started putting a camera in every single one.
yeah, and cameras on every single phones, like before smartphones, that was a topic of concern, and now it's just a given. Everyone just has a camera on them all the time, and we just are used to it. And I think that in a short while, I think it'll come to the same conclusion. Google Glass.
Well, speaking of phones, I know one of the big new things with phones lately, especially like the Nexus 5 that came out recently, is wireless charging. Have you had any chance to try out wireless charging on a phone at all?
Actually, yeah. I picked up a couple $10 cheapy chargers on eBay. I read a little bit about it, did a little bit of research, and they seem to be a pretty good model for the price. And now I have them strategically placed at my work and home. So I'm able to kind of lock my phone down on a wireless charger anytime I'm around, and it just charges. And it's actually really beneficial to me because I don't have to plug, unplug, especially at work. I'm constantly making sure the damn thing's charged or making sure it's whatever. So it allows me to kind of have a little bit more freedom and just plop it down and have it always at a pretty good state of charge. Um, and I haven't even had to look at the battery on that thing since I've got these wireless chargers situated.
Interesting. So the charger, you just drop it from basically anywhere on the pad. You're not having any issues worrying about centering it or making sure it has contact.
It has like a sweet spot in the middle of the charger and the middle of the phone. So basically, if the phone, for the chargers I have, if the phone is kind of, the center of the phone is on the center of the pad, or give or take a little bit, it'll start charging. Like I said, I did a little bit of research to find out the charger I was getting wasn't too finicky, or because I read the same thing. And with the ones I have, no, they're fairly wide berth for the charging area on the pad itself. So if it's kind of just on there, kinda, it usually is good. And the interesting thing about it is, and the amount I pick up and drop my phone, if I drop it down there and it's not charging because I kind of missed the spot for 20 minutes or 30 or 40 or whatever, as long as it's sitting there, I will eventually pick it back up and put it back down. So like the amount of charging over the period of time will still have a high state of charge. You know, I won't have to worry about it being basically dead or half dead when I get up to go anywhere.
That's not too bad. And you said these things are fairly cheap?
Yeah, I looked at a comparison on, I think it was linked to me on Android Police. I'm not sure now that I think about it, but a comparison on the cheaper chargers and where the guy bought them. He compared like charge time and to 90% and a couple other metrics, and they were all actually really close. The chargers I bought have a red and a green light. The green light indicates that it's charging. The red light indicates that it's plugged in and getting power. And the cool thing about them is the lights are on the top, so you can actually cover them with the phone, so they won't interrupt my sleep. They don't distract me when I'm at work.
Nice, nice. Yeah, because that's drives me nuts to plug something in and have a bright blue or bright red LED right in my face.
I completely understand. A little off topic real quick. I bought a bunch of those black little stickers you can put over LEDs and have them just kind of like stuck onto everything that's got a light on it in my room.
Somebody's actually gone to the trouble of making actual LED cover stickers. I've always used these like electrical tape or something.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, but they're perfect and they don't look too out of place either. You can just kind of place them on top of the LED that I have like circles and squares and stuff of various sizes. I bought like a sticker sheet for like $5. It was totally worth it though.
Nice, nice, yeah.
Anyways,
It sounds like this with this microphone here. As much as I love my mic, this is the end of the world.
oh yeah, that's bright. You can even see on the how bright it is on the cam.
Yeah, no, it's pretty horrible. You can actually, I think you can still kind of see it reflecting through onto
Yeah,
the
I can
mic.
actually.
Yeah, it's pretty bright. I've been thinking about trying to find a way to deal with that.
Hey, I got some stickers for you.
Maybe I'll have to get some of those, throw it on my next Amazon order.
Totally. One last thing about wireless charging, which is
Sure.
interesting because this happened to me the last couple of days. So my phone had trouble charging wirelessly. When I was putting it on the pad, the light would just blink and it wouldn't charge.
Hmm.
And I didn't notice for the first day because I plug it in overnight. I actually
Sure.
plug it into a cable. And so it was holding a charge all day and wasn't being a big deal. But it wasn't wireless charging for some reason. And I was like starting to get a little bit nervous that, oh no, maybe my new Nexus 5 is broken. I'm going to be all sad. But I did some searching online and someone suggested, the kind of tried and true turn it off, turn it back on again. And I was like, that can't be it. It's got to be some kind of hardware fault or just something. It's got to be like cosmic rays going phone. But turns out, actually, no. Turning it off, turning it back on again, fixed it.
Interesting.
Where
And
is that?
and so when you're charging, is it through the case? Or are you using a case in your Nexus 5?
No case. I hear that thin cases are fine.
Like the official Nexus case?
I haven't heard anything very specific. Just that other people who have charging issues, some of them it's because they have like OtterBox or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I'd imagine OtterBox is probably pretty hard to charge through, unless they put an induction coil inside the OtterBox case, because those things are really thick.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, may not be for everyone, but if you don't use a case and you're thinking that wireless charging might be kind of nice, it actually really does. It's one of the better features that I've got with this upgrade to the Nexus 5.
I've actually been looking at a wireless charger. It's not very cheap, but it's a pretty fancy one. Let me see if I can find the link for it here. Because my biggest problem with the wireless chargers is that most of the time when I want to charge my phone, I don't want it to be flat because I'm using my phone. I'm playing a video on it, it's playing MP3, something like that, or I want to interact with the face of the phone. And so for me, a lot of those flat wireless charging stations just aren't going to work unless I was going to charge overnight or something. But ADATA's got an interesting device they're offering. Let me see here. Does this thing have a chat? Yeah, it does. There it goes. If you check that out from ADATA, it's their new wireless charger. They just announced it at the last CES, and it allows you to stand up the phone upright while charging it. But it's a little spendy. That you can get it on Amazon right now for $40 with free with Prime shipping. But been a little bit gun shy and pulled the trigger on it just because I've heard so many stories about people having trouble charging with wirelessly and other problems. But I'm kind of rethinking it now after hearing yours is working pretty well.
Yeah, $40 is a little spendy, so I'm not sure. Like, I can't make your choices for you, but that does look pretty nice, though. Not even lying, it looks pretty nice.
Yeah, the fact that it lets it stand up is a real selling point for me because probably easily 75% of my time on the phone I have it sitting landscape playing videos, and that's usually why I have it plugged in with a cable. Just because prior to this I'd never seen a wireless charging station that allowed that.
Yeah, and it looks like it's adjustable. Like, you can adjust it so your phone has the coil in the correct position, which is
Right.
positive as well. I will say that there are other QI chargers that do stand up or hold your phone somewhat upright, and you might be able to get away with a generic cell phone stand, like a little like desk stand, and putting a QI charger on top of that too, if it's big enough. Uh,
How big are the chargers?
there,
Like silver
my
dollar.
chargers are a little bit larger than my phone. Uh,
Uh-oh, I think I may have lost you.
what?
You said it was. I heard God it was a little bit larger in your phone, and then your voice trailed off.
Oh, I apologize. It's a little bit larger than my phone, about the same width, uh, and the length and height are a little bit bigger.
Okay,
Um,
so kind of like a big coaster on you have for on a table.
right. Still not as big as the Galaxy Note.
Yeah, no, I know all about the Galaxy Note. My wife actually runs a Galaxy Note 3, and that thing's a beast.
Indeed.
I mean, it kind of gives the iPad Mini a run for its money.
Well, whatever floats your boat.
Yeah, no, for her it works because she uses a lot of the stylus input. So she writes on it a lot like she would a notepad. So for her, it's replaced having a pen and paper notepad, which has been really awesome. But
That's
size wise, it's a giant phone. It's not going in anybody's pocket anytime soon.
Yeah. I'm fairly happy with the size of the Nexus 5. It's kind of hitting a sweet spot there. Um,
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I look at it and I thought about getting a Note for a long time because it's a bigger screen, and finally settled on the Nexus 5. But once I had it in my hand and really used it for a while, I can't see why I would actually want a larger screen. I don't think I would get anything out of it unless the resolution were jumped up. I mean, at the end of the day, a larger screen with the same size resolution really doesn't change anything.
yeah, kind of. I I find that it's just wide enough that I can barely get at all the spots with my thumb, which to me is a good size. I wouldn't mind if it was a little bit smaller, actually, just to be a little bit more thumb friendly, I suppose. But it really hit the sweet spot in both price, performance, and size.
Definitely, yeah. No, price was killer. Although I would be lying if I said that seeing the One Plus One come out didn't grab my attention. Did you get a chance to check out that new phone?
I did, very sleek.
Yeah, I want to pull the trigger on it. The price tag is great, just like the Nexus 5 was, but I can't quite find a way to justify replacing my phone that's not even a year old yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I have the T-Mobile Jump program, so when in a few months when my first interval is up, I'll start looking. Doesn't mean I start buying.
Sure, sure. Um, so let's see here. So I guess the other big headline going on right now would be big the big security scare with Heartbleed, um, and I know that everyone's been kind of racing to try and fix that, and get their servers patched, and the the big issue has been communication, trying to get that communicated between someone's clients and their customers and the server guys. Is that something you've had to deal with at all?
Not really. My day job, we've had we keep our software pretty up to date, and luckily we weren't uh, vulnerable to that problem. We've had to put out a lot of communication to our clients, though, to make sure that they know. Um, to the tech savvy, Heartbleed is not that surprising. It's kind of a run-of-the-mill type of vulnerability, but the scope that it encompasses is scary. And this is going to be one of the larger security vulnerabilities in our time, which is unfortunate. It's nice to, not have everything you send over the wire be readable or vulnerable.
Right,
Um,
right.
but what are you going to do? It looks like it's still difficult for companies to kind of get their gears in motion and get everything fixed up. And not only that, but make sure their clients know to apply their patches, to get their system updates, to get their updates for their web browser, so on and so forth.
Well, and what was kind of interesting to me with Heartbleed, made it kind of a unique security issue, was like the company I worked for, we were safe from Heartbleed, but not because we were actually proactive and were updated and patched and all those details. We actually were safe because we weren't proactive. We were running a version of OpenSSL 2 or 3 versions before the Heartbleed vulnerability was introduced, and so because we never got around to updating our servers, we were safe. We didn't have anything to worry about. Everyone was freaking out. We just waited until the updated code was rolled out, finally updated ours to the newest version.
Nice.
So yeah, sometimes the lazy ones win.
Whatever works.
Right, right. Yeah, it was an interesting discussion with our clients, letting them know, no, we're safe because we don't do anything.
Better to be lucky than good, they say.
Sometimes, I suppose. Sometimes.
What else is on the docket there, Chief?
Um, well, that's probably good for right now. I mean, we've been talking for a while here. Um, let's go ahead and just wrap it up. So as if we were doing a real show, we could plug something or advertise something at the end of the show. If you had a project you're working on, if you had your own side thing going on, but then we'd say our goodbyes. But,
I'll definitely want to bring up my side projects later on for fun.
yeah, no, definitely. I think that's the beauty of putting on a show like this is it gives you a stage at the end of the show to do a little self promotion. I think it's not only is expected, but I think it's responsible. You are your independent.
Mm.
You
What are
gotta
you
market
drinking?
yourself. Shinerbach. Did I ever give you a Shinerbach when you were over here?
No, sir.
I'll have to get you one sometime.
No, we drank Big Red.
It's a Bach beer from the Shiner Brewery out of Shiner, Texas, and it's hard to get your hands on it in Portland because they won't ship to the West Coast. The distributor just decided that that's too far to ship their beer. I don't know if it's a quality concern or what the problem is, but the only place to get it is down towards Texas. I get it when I go down to visit family down in San
Get it on the East
Antonio,
Coast.
and so.
Let's
But
see.
it's a pretty good beer. They make some other ones. I actually came back from a recent trip with some variety pack that I'm going to try out. They've got a hef and some other styles to try. So I'm going to see if the other ones are good. But the Shinerbach is their signature beer.
They got an amber. Save me one there, Chief.
Yeah, I'll take a look in the mixed case box and see what I came back with. I kind of just picked it up on a whim when I was, and we'll let you know. I mean. We should. The other thing we can do, you've talked about before, getting together in person and trying one of these out and seeing how well that plays out.
That could be fun.
Yeah, I mean, especially on a Saturday or on a Friday evening, sometime getting together. If we could find a bar that's dead, we could record it at a bar, which could be fun, or just somewhere we can get, some decent light, or I guess it don't even need light really, but just some decent audio.
Totally. And, getting a movable rig shouldn't be a big deal either.
No, and I've got spare mics. I mean, all my mics travel pretty easy, and my rig would travel pretty well. And I think my laptop could handle the recording, but we could always figure that part out on the fly.
Totally. So, I guess we're going off air.
Yeah, we'll call this a wrap and call it the end of our first show. I mean, test case 001. It's done.
Pretty good for our first time.
Yeah, not too bad.
Not a lot of arguing, which is important.
Not yet. We'll skip to that later.
Some is good. Too much, not so much.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and take us off the air.